right, so in this first example, I'm going to simplify the radical of the square root of 128 using the factor tree method. So my factor tree method has two steps. My first step is that I want to create a factor tree, and then my second step is that I'll make groups of prime numbers and then create my leftovers if I have any. So if I look at my example here, I have the square root of 128, right? If there's no number on the inside of this radical, or I don't see my index, okay, we're going to assume that it's always going to be 2. Okay, so I'm finding the square root of 128. Okay. When I look at my radicand here, or that number on the inside, I notice that it's an even number, which means that I can start my factor tree by dividing it in 2. So I know 128 can be divided by 2 because it's even, and when I divide it by 2, I know that 2 times 64 gives me 128. 2 is a prime number, so I'll stop on the left side. If I want to go to the right side, right, I can look at the number 64. That's also even, so I can go ahead and divide it by 2 again. If I divide it by 2, we get 32, and I can always check it. 2 times 32 gives me 64. Again, 2 is a prime number on my left side, so I can go to the right side of the factor tree, and I can split 32 again because it's even into 2 and 16. I can continue this pattern all the way down. Until all I have left are groups of 2. Okay. So if you notice, all of my numbers on the outside here end up being prime numbers, so I know that I can stop. Okay, I've broken my factor tree down as much as I can. Okay. So my second step is, now that I've broken down my factor tree, I want to make groups of prime numbers. Right, so my index tells me how many groups I'm going to make. So I want groups of 2 here, or I want to make pairs. So I can think of grouping or separating all of these prime numbers into groups here. Now that I've created my groups, right, I have one group of 2. So I'm going to write a 2. I have another group of 2, so I'm going to multiply it by 2 again. And I have a third group of 2 that I'll multiply. Okay. If you notice here, though, I've got an extra 2 that's left out, right? Because I can't group it with anything else. So when we have anything that's left over, right, we're going to put that back into the radical here. Okay. I can go ahead and simplify my groups on the outside. So 2 times 2 times 2 gives me 8, and I'll bring down my radical. So my final answer on this problem is going to be 8 square root of 2 to simplify.